Hello, everyone. This is Roger, once again, with Creating with Your Spiritual Universe, CWYSU.com, CWYSU.com. And thanks for joining us. And I want you to also remind you guys that we are on Facebook. So you can go there and join the Facebook group at Creating with Your Spiritual Universe. Like our page. We appreciate it. And today we're going to be speaking about the mechanisms of false karma. I wrote a blog article on this, and I'm simply going to be going through this blog article as well as making little commentaries. And this is a very important phenomena and construct to wrap our heads around so that we can take another step at removing another layer of the falsehood that has us in this condition that we're in, and that fortunately I see us unraveling. I see many, many, many people more and more every day opening their eyes and saying, there is another way, and I'm going to take that way. I'm going to stop participating in the sickness. I'm going to stop participating in giving my power away. I'm going to stop doing all of that, and I'm going to start retaining my power, seeking the truth, finding it, and making that a part of who I am. And I'm so happy about that. If you only knew, so happy. It's all a good thing. And so let's start with this article against the name here is the mechanisms of false light karma. Mechanisms of false light karma. Now let us start off with what karma is supposed to be. And true karma is akin to true justice. It is a simple concept in its pure and true form. Karma is simply a biochemical reaction in our bodies that align us according to our actions and behaviors. These include how we process thoughts, our intent, and our deeds. True karma is neutral. It is not good or bad. Your actions decide its outcome, and it is an excellent tool in allowing us to check how balanced we are within the universe and within ourselves. It is really that simple. Nothing complex. Well, how then did karma become so complex? How has it become a weapon of fear, replete with its popular sayings, such as karma's a bitch, and karma will get you in the end? You get the point. There are many more. We only need to spout out a couple of them. Now, the mental image of karma is a judgmental and punitive one. Just notice how your body reacts when the subject is brought up. Why has this happened? It has happened because true karma has been superimposed and overlaid by a false, corrupt, and sociopathic version. Okay? False karma is an astral construct that was created many thousands of years ago as one of the multiple layers of deceit and trickery to keep humanity from remembering its God self, its sovereign source self. This false construct, which receives all of its power from our consent, is a tool of suppression. Suppression in this case is the limiting of the expression of one's true potential. This phenomenon does not limit itself to the present. It stretches back into previous existences and incarnations, using both to affect the future. Guilt and shame are the calling cards of this criminal act against humanity. Guilt is an extremely suppressive force. Guilt causes one to feel insignificant and unworthy. One can feel unworthy of their mission and purpose on earth, unworthy of love, happiness, and all the good things life has in store. A person can feel these good things are too pure and too noble for them. You know, they'll say things like, those things are for someone else, not me. You know, this is often the underlying thought. Shame is the ironic entangler here. Shame keeps one repeating the things one is shameful of. And that's ironic. People with debilitating addictions can testify to this, though they may not know that shame is one of the major culprits. Because what shame does is it causes you to go back to repeat the same things over and over and over and over again that you're shameful of. So one of the first things that when you want to stop a debilitating behavior, an addiction, a habit, a pattern, is to remove the guilt. Even if you continue to do it, you know, you get gripped by the urge to indulge in abuse of a substance or a pattern or behavior, remove the guilt first if you can. Because ironically, when you remove the guilt, even though you're still doing it, whether it be the abuse of drugs or whatever, removing the guilt is the first layer. And it becomes easier to cut and drop the habit once you remove the guilt from it. Okay? With the doors to the corridor in a human being now opened, predominantly by guilt and shame, a person is now ripe for accepting all manner of fabricated crimes and past life evil doing, likely told to them in a psychic reading or channeling. Ooh, these are the popular means to drive the point home. And that's why I do not pay attention to channeling or channelers. Okay? And of course, the reading resonates with some of the bad luck, or as many of you may have heard before, bad karma experienced during the present life. So the insinuation that if your life is so bad, then you must have done something to deserve it is given consent by the victim and is internalized as a reality in their life. One hellish misfortune after another can ensue based on total lies. Once this becomes a reality for a person, they dare not challenge the institutions built around it. Removing oneself from the astral parasitic feeding trough is a definite no. So what are these spiritual and psychic and physical institutions? What are they? Let's get right into them. And, you know, because this is an important question in recognizing this sinister circus act, as I call it, when it comes into your life, if it has not done so already. Let's list the physical constructs first, okay? Number 1, certain channels, psychics, and psychic organizations, false gurus, peer pressure, along with some writings derived from Eastern philosophy and belief systems and religion. These individuals offer readings and advice that are received from entities, spirits, and so-called guides, and archangels and ascended masters. Beings are often not who they say they are. These people who I believe to be mostly good, I believe people that are doing these readings and channelings, they're mostly good people. And who have been, you know, they have been deceived and tricked into handing over their power to these shape-shifting deceivers are mostly unaware of the harm that they're causing. Many of these people believe that they are unable to truly express their gifts without these so-called deities. The truth is, they are the talent and the power. The channelers, they are the power, and the people being channeled through and the people doing the reading, they are the talent and the power. They have been fooled into believing that the powers are derived from the outside, derived from outside of themselves and not from within. And here at Creating with Your Spiritual Universe, we have worked with and helped in the transformation of some of these souls who finally have caught on to the game. They now continue their work with a connection to Source and their Source sovereign selves, dropping limited belief systems and philosophies and deriving all of their power from within through the power of love. Many have reported an expansion of their gifts and the appearance of new ones. Okay, they have become bigger and better and have stepped into their true selves once they've dismissed these imposters. Okay, this is the true power of love, folks, as opposed to the love of power, which is temporary and object dependence. Okay, the second of these constructs is the false past life construct. And I've done a video on this talking about false past lives and how we are duped by this particular construct. You know, and I discovered the concept of false past lives through the work of a man by the name of Cameron Day. So I found proof through spiritual counseling sessions that I hold with clients. There is a part of the human psyche that retains all of the history of a person's entire existence through every single life lived. This part of the psyche is also connected to the soul. These memories are stored in memory crystals. Memories, past lives, they're stored in memory crystals. And if anyone's seen the children's movie Inside Out, this is a close depiction. That movie is a close depiction of this part of the subconscious. What I witnessed in my research of the psyche were very bright and beautiful crystals, but among them were very dull ones. They stood out from the others. I removed these dull, lackluster crystals and sent them up to the great central sun. The authentic crystals cannot be removed. They simply stay put, unlike the dull imposter crystals. Those that have been placed there from the outside, they can be removed. And the ones that are legitimately that person's life cannot be removed. The imposter crystals are implanted past lives and memories. They're placed there as another layer of the karmic deception. And when one receives a reading from a person who is overlaid by astral parasites, posing as benevolent beings, these are the crystals accessed, and the false information, lies, and deceptions are disseminated to the unaware victim. Furthermore, a person who goes to multiple people who carry these same kinds of attachments drives the point straight home. Now, number 3. The third layer is etheric implants placed within the light body and auric field. So, what are etheric implants? These implants are simply devices that are placed within the auric field and light body to manipulate the frequency of energy in those areas of your being. They are not in the physical body. The link below, and I'll post a link below the video, will provide further information on etheric implants. The implants are placed just outside of the range of the 5 senses. but can be easily detected by your inner eye once one seeks to tune into them. Or you can go to someone who, a healer or someone that is trained specifically in this particular kind of work. And you want to do your research there as well, okay? We do that kind of work here at Creating with Your Spiritual Universe. And you can access us on Facebook, or just go to our website and learn about these implants, learn about what they do. And if you're interested in having them removed, you can have that. You can book an appointment with us and get that done. Now, in regards to karma, there is an implant that runs from the head to the loins of all those who have been victimized. This implant serves as a platform to trigger the lower vibrational frequencies weighing the individual down. It also serves as a tag and tracer, similar to how ranchers brand cattle. This implant also serves the mind control agenda and locks the victim in, keeping them in the fold for lifetimes. Number 4, there's good news. We have to talk about what's going on and then talk about the good news. So keep staying tuned, okay? All right, number 4, the grand deception. The reincarnation trap through the tunnel of white light after death. Science fiction has been stellar at depicting this stunning deception. These depictions may not be that far from the actual trickery played on humanity. A link is provided below from a Star Trek episode that gives a representation of this phenomenon. This deception occurs at the point of death, where a tunnel brightly lit with white light is seen by the person and is then accompanied with a feeling of euphoria that seemingly overwhelms the victim. The euphoric feeling is actually coming from within the individual and not from the outside at all. The heart's light will begin to shine. And if an individual is allowed the time to awaken to the new reality, this is the time these deceivers cannot allow to pass. They can't allow you to wake up to where you are. They've got to get you before you get to that awareness. Okay? Or for if they don't, the deception will be ruined. You will see what is going on. You will know yourself and the difference between you and them, and you will quickly figure it out. And at that point, if you figure it out, you refuse to go, there's nothing they can do. Okay? So one simply has to shoo these weak beings away like flies, and there's nothing they can do. Absolutely nothing. What these beings, so-called lords of karma, do is intercept the victim while they are in the early stages of waking up from the delirium of the death process. It is in this state of confusion that these criminals, which is what they are, often posing as deceased loved ones or revered religious figures such as Jesus, Muhammad, Buddha, or whatever, and whomever they know the victim will respond favorably to, will appear to lure the unaware into their dastardly reincarnation and looping trap. Even at this stage, your consent is needed, or they cannot carry out the plan. Most of us consent due to religious and social conditioning during our lifetime. Then the lies and con job begin with the afterlife review, where, of course, you committed or allowed certain so-called sinful acts that must now be brought to karmic balance. So afraid and fearful of the consequences is the victim that they gladly submit to the cooked-up second chance to make things right. Many may feel, well, it's better than hell, which also doesn't exist, but is leveraged against those conditioned to believe that it does exist. Consequently, the mind is wiped and then veiled to keep the person from remembering who and what they are. Now, these beings have used their free will to infringe on our free will. They have used their free will to turn our creative powers against us. This is the loophole in our free will universe that they have exploited. This loophole will be corrected. However, after thousands of years, we have just begun to catch on to the scam, and the knowledge of it is gradually spreading. Why do they work so hard to keep all of this parasitism and vampirism? It is because they have cut themselves off from Source Creator. And since we have not, we can provide for them an indirect way of access to the food they need to survive on. They feed on fear, hate, guilt, suffering, and the really, really higher ups, they feed on worship. These beings fear us. They must keep us completely forgetful of who we are. We are the children of Source. Human beings are the creators of this universe. Believe it or not. We are the masters who have been tricked into handing our power over to prodigal beings who need to be reformed. Waking up to this truth and acting upon it is a must for humanity. We are the ones who must bring balance to this planet and indeed the universe. We are not here as food for parasites. Let them return to Source and be reformed. And then next, what steps should one take on the fundamental and individual level? Number one, remove your consent completely from this rig job. Declare to the universe that you are taking your power back and no longer will subscribe to false-like karma. Declare your sovereignty and connect to the Source sovereign self within you. This is a vital must. People, this is vital, as it is the original and authentic you, sovereign and free. Then, number two, at first chance, remove all karmic implants and false past lives from your being, or have them removed. Clear everything associated with them through the clearing and cleansing power of Source energy through the great central sun. This great force is within every human being and dwells within the solar plexus. And as some of you may know, solar, of course, means sun. A link is provided below to this very potent and powerful clearing as well. Use it as a guide to clear false karma and anything else in your life that does not serve you. Number three, the most important and powerful action any individual can do is to work on the self. Do this by first going inward. Release and purge from your being all emotions, energies, possessions, people, and things that no longer serve you. These include, number one, traumatic events, toxic and abusive relationships of all kinds in the past and the present, and the associated emotions that are awaiting to be released. Toxic people are often a part of this purge. People in this category are often puppets for entities that will seek to control you through your associations, through your friends, and through the people that you are hanging with. This is noticeable once you are aware of it. You'll notice who these people are. You'll see it once you actually look for it. Okay? And number two, inner child and emotional body work are vital in eliminating the triggers and levers that cause anxiety and fear. which lead to lowering of your frequency, making you accessible to spiritual parasites, narcissistic and abusive people, poor decision-making, confusion, and potentially addictive behaviors. Number 3, love the beauty and pricelessness of who you are. If this is not easy, no problem. First, begin by finding just a few things about yourself that you love and appreciate. Then take a few moments daily to focus on those things. This is the planting of the seeds of self-love, and soon this self-love will begin to spread within you. With these steps, you will become lighter in spirit. You will have transformed yourself. This is what the oppressor of humanity fears the most. When you discover yourself and break the taboo against finding out who you really are, you have won. You not only become immune to the deception of false like karma, but all other deceptions as well. This is due to the strengthening of discernment, which occurs only at the soul level through a strong connection with your source sovereign self, your spirit. When you work to become the best version of yourself, you automatically impact the frequency of the collective consciousness. Anchoring of your effort into Gaia occurs automatically. The new reality is grounded into the earth, into Gaia. This is a good reason to let your bare feet come into contact with the earth. Ground yourself to the earth. These are the things any individual can do to transform the planet into the best version of itself. Please understand that the power of an individual is immeasurably impactful. And though power in numbers is a good thing, in the spiritual world and in the world that is outside of the prison of the mind, numbers limit no one. The end. I hope that was helpful and contributed to your life. And always remember to unravel the taboo against you finding out who you truly are.